Hello, this is Arabella from Arabella's Heart for Book Art, and I want to say welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you are back, and especially welcome to my returning subscribers, as I would call it. Also, I have new subscribers, and I am really happy to welcome you to my channel as well. So that was really a surprise. I had a lot of yeah, how do you call it, new people that I met through Instagram, so that was really exciting for me. So I want to start with my first course, my first one. So you could call it course slash tutorial. I'm a little bit in a learning curve. I learned a lot while I was sick. I also try to educate myself and try to get better at filming, at lighting, and everything combined. It's a lot when you are on YouTube, but that's what I love. That's why we do it. We love it, but there are stuff that sometimes are a little bit less less nice to do. I don't know how to call it, but well, I just want to get into it and want to let you know how much I enjoy this and how much I like it, that that I can welcome new people to this lovely group over here, this positive people over here. So let's just start. Here you see the book that we are going to make, and today I want to make a start on the cover, and of course that is the most exciting stuff. I'm sorry about the glare, but that's because of the paper that I printed it out onto, and I also enhanced it with alcohol marker, so that's what's catching the glare. So I wanted to say that. So what I did to a little bit to show you is how this is really an envelope. So I cut out and I scored the lines of this policy envelope, as you will, and this is what I printed out for the to trace around the templates, really. So I did cut it a little bit too far off, but I did do that on the original one as well. Here I tore it off, so it's a little bit shorter. So it's I don't know how tall it is really, but I could tell you it's 8 inches tall, and the front cover is 5 inches wide. So so this is 10, I presume, and 8, something like that. So I will put this aside again, and I prepared a little bit. These templates are to trace around, but you can also print these over your own art. So this is a little bit light, but you can of course make it not black and white, but what did I do? Yeah, you can also do it in colors, I mean, in color. So if you have, for instance, cardstock, colored cardstock, I could also give an example of that, of course. So I had a few left from the pages that I didn't use. I didn't use this orange, and I also have a few pages of the recycled cardstock left, and here are all the colors that I have: yellow and red, and I think I will use those for the pages again, so I can show you how that looks. And these are really fun. These are file folder pages, but well, so that will give it a little bit of an extra dimension, I think. So if you print this out over colored cardstock, for instance, then you can make it your own idea. So you don't have to follow this print. There will be a faint print that you see. So you could also follow that, but before I go into details too much and give you too much information, I want to move on to the next thing. So this I did to trace around, but I wanted to yeah, point out that you also can print this out over everything you want. Design paper or a paper pack that you have laying around and you never did something with it. This is what you can use as well for that. So I will, as the course will move on, I will give you a lot of examples. Not too much, so you can get overwhelmed with too much information, overwhelmed. But I'm from the Netherlands, so as you can hear probably, so this is not my first language, but in the Netherlands, that's a fun fact, it's our second language. So yeah, let's move on. This is something I made while I was under the weather, while I was really sick, if I'm honest, with the virus. So I am really happy to have overcome the virus. Okay, I will talk about something else. It's not a good idea. So, while I was recovering and I wanted to make some art, I started to enhance a misprint. So this is really a misprint that I enhanced with alcohol markers. So I used pink, and this was a little bit printed, so you could see. I can really show you the original to make you to explain. So this is the original, and it started to print, but so this was really a little bit okay, and then from here, as you can see, it started to fade with the print. But that's how I got the idea to make your own art on top, and then it evolved into this. So so that's why I wanted to make a course, wanted to make tutorials, a lot of tutorials to share what I learned along the way. So also develop this, of course, especially to teach it, and I just want to share. There's enough art to share, right? So I also tried it out with something else. So this was also misprint, as you can see. My ink was clogged up, and this was all like this. So you saw only the lines, really faded. And this I printed out onto recycled cardstock. So I did do also. I started with the front cover, and I made a back cover to match this, so I could also use this in the future for a book, but I don't know if that will be on video, I don't know, but I would have to protect it because I use some mixed media that is fading, so I will have to protect this. But for this I really wanted to point out what I loved about this is that I flipped the colors around. So here the pink starts upwards, and because I only had the lines, I could fill it in how I want it. So I used, right beside me, of course, I used simply this, and these are crayon, watercolor, pastels and crayons. So it's 3-in-1. You can use it as a crayon, and then it looks really dense, and you can also put water. It's watercolor really, so you could also use it for that. and yeah, I really love using this. So you can go different, create different looks with it. That's what I wanted to tell you. So that's what I used on this. And so you see, you don't have to use watercolor paper or mixed media paper, You can use your own paper, what you have. Used recycled something like the back of my pillowcase thing. And that's what I used for this. So I'm really big on to recycle as well. So this is what I wanted to show you, and I also made a pink one. I'm really not really fond of this one because I didn't finish it, but it's also only 2 colors. So the blue that you see, I enhanced it, but that's the only lines that came out while printing, and this flower on the side. So yeah, I also put this here because I want to use this as embellishment, and this is part of something else. And first it was really bright yellow, but I made it a little bit less bright because I thought that would yeah, all your ink would be gone. As you can see, this is too bright, so I also made this for t-shirt design, by the way. That's something new I'm trying on Redbubble and also in my Etsy. So I have different designs, and also I have some templates that I also wanted to show you in a different video series. And this is also one of my new designs, little coffee dyed envelopes, by the way. So I will put this aside so that we can start already. So the first thing I did when I was preparing my digital to make tutorials with, I will call it tutorials from now out, to make a workbook. And the first, yeah, I wanted to show you what I did. So I made a video, and that I will link up there and down below. So the 3 pages that we will use for this tutorial is on page 1, tutorial, and on page 2, and on page 3. So these are the ones that we will be using for this part. And I will put everything a little bit aside. And what I use is this cutting thingy. I've really forgot the name, but I will put it up on the screen. I have a day that I'm not remembering any words today, so I will cut everything out and I will make it go fast. So I will see you on the other side. So this is really difficult for me. What I do is, every time I see that I can't cut, I just turn the paper. So I cut, but my scissors try to keep them on the same steady place, and then only when I see that I can't cut it, I will change the position. So because it's really hard for me to cut, I am not good at this at all, but well, And then this one I will put aside, and then I think I will keep this white thingy in the middle just for interest. And now I will cut out this one, and I have still a white border on the side, so I will cut that off. That's really too hard to do with my hand, and I did cut this off, so that could happen, of course. And then yeah, it happened, so I will work with it. And now I will fussy cut this out. Sometimes I make a mistake, and that's what you do, so I will keep all the mistakes so that you can learn from my mistakes as well. Of course, I will try to do everything the way I intended it to be, but well, we are all humans, so mistakes can happen, right? So I'll put everything aside and see if that will work with the front cover. Also want to cut this one off, and then I will score everything. I put these lines here. I saw that on May's channel. May made it, and also Genevieve Designs. And Genevieve Designs was the first lady that I saw use templates with a distressed edge. So I'm really very inspired by Genevieve Designs as well. And then with my mixed media and art background, this is what happened. Sort of a combination happened. And I am a fan of more ladies. Shannon Green I like, and there are a lot more. And I also did a whole series with Laura Marie Jenkins, a challenge. Also really fun lady to work with. So here I did draw a flower, and then I didn't like it, so I recycled this. Why not? It's watercolor paper, so it doesn't go to waste then. So what I like about this is that you can line it up, because yeah, I made this by hand. So that's also a tip I got from one of the ladies that I just talked about, Genevieve Designs, is that when you make something handmade, it can be a little bit wonky, so crooked. So I didn't do that really well, but well, that's okay. So now that I prepared this, I could also, where did my flap go? Oh, over here, because I also want to score this. Let's see. As of right now, I have an extra light, but this is also recycled from one of my other designs that I tried out. That's a butterfly design. You could check it out. I could link it below if you're interested. What I want to do for the flap is cut the corners with a corner rounder. I didn't do that in my design, but I like that look. As you can see, this this is really makes it look cool. Okay, let's move on. So what you now can do is decide what you want for the inside. So if you have this, so this is the front and this is the back cover, so this will go like this. The lace, what I also saw in my stash, and what I want to show, if I didn't put it on the side, I just put a lot away. Ah, it's just over here on my desk. So I also found this really bright fabric. So I thought, yeah, that would really make it also mixed media. And I also want to make this one a little bit different. So I will make a smaller strip, but I'm not really sold on the idea. But what I also can do is combine the two to make layers. And that will really make the white pop. So that was my idea. And the next step, what I want to do is decide what to do on the inside. What I did for this one is as I'm throwing all the tags out, in this one I just left it like this, and then I made the inside cover with painty papers, and I enhanced those painty papers. As you can see, I embellished it, so that's also something you can do, but I think I want to do it slightly different for this one. I want to make it a little bit more sturdier. So as I was going through my stash, so what I recycle a lot is, when we do have it, of course, is this from your design paper. So you can save this and use it and recycle it. So the other side looks like this. But see how much that resembles this cardstock. And this cardstock is from a pizza, but a frozen pizza. Hello, this is Arabella from Arabella's Hopeful Booklet. Okay, I'm going to show you something, and it was a mistake. So, as you can see here, if you see the design, you see that this is like this, and I accidentally made it like this, put it together like this. So the front cover is on the wrong side. The front cover always is on your right hand side, and I don't know why I did that wrong, but I was looking in my folder that I printed, and I printed the wrong one. So I have in my Etsy, I have the one with 2 flaps, and I accidentally printed out my older one that I made before this one. So it did print out a little lighter, so the blue's a little bit lighter. As you can see the difference. I don't know if you see, it is a little bit, but I changed my blue, but it didn't pick up on the print. But well, I can always enhance it. So this one I will make different, and I will show you what I will do with it. And also this was a little bit too too hard, too not flexible enough. So I really liked it with this one, that it was a light and flexible, and I also left this flap, so when you close it, this flap close a little bit around the pages, a little bit, but you don't have to do that. I left it on because I wasn't quite sure if I wanted an extra page for the inside, so maybe a fold out, or so I left one flap on in this case, so in this one. So I am going to use this, but I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, but perhaps I will do something with the flaps like this, or I will do it like this, also possible. Then you will have this flap here, and you will have this over here. That's also could also be really cute for the inside covers, right? So, and this then will be the front cover, and then I will embellish it in a different way, and the circle, half circle, will be that way. So I could also what I cut out use as a template and then cut out over here, but well, I don't really mind. It is what it is, and I'm just going to work with this one. When I'm going to go with this, and I'm going to make this one, I will show you what I'm going to make of it, with it. I mean, so I'm not going to, yeah, what I'm going to do is cut these out and make sure that also this, I think it is because my embellishment is on the right hand side, also because I printed out the wrong one, but also this is on this side, and then you are leaning towards to do it like this, but I don't know why. I think it's just the flaps. Okay, I will cut these out and then I will be right back. So I will see you then. So I cut them out all around, and I did remove the flap. This flap was on the inside. This is when I do leave some flaps, and the flaps I leave because then you will have more yeah, you can have more ideas, more ways, I mean, to assemble it, and I will show you what I mean by that. But for this instance, when the front cover is on your right hand side and the back cover is on your left hand side, then you will see this shape. So sort of an half rounds put together, if you will. So, and I did choose this one for to attach everything onto. So let me see how I will want to do that. So my front cover on the right hand side, and what I also will do first is score everything. So probably will speed this part up. And I did recycle it, so this is from my kit Papillion, and I tried some stuff out. So this edge I kept, but this inside I didn't keep. I'm also making this flexible, even though we are going to use fabric. But so, and now I want to score the pocket so I can fold it out of the way while gluing everything down. Go like this, fold. Also recycled. This is beautiful paper, so I do want to use it. So what I do want to do now is ink it, and let me see, where did I, here is my thingy, my inky thingy. And yeah, I could also use different colors, but for this I chose, and I don't know why I did. Where did I leave my ink? This is really weird. Okay, I will get my ink and then I will be right back. I'm so sorry about this. So I got my inks, and for the edges I think I'm going to use my StazOn Timber Brown. I do want a little bit of a dark edge around it because I use so many colors throughout this kit. I thought, why not make the edges a little bit more visible, more profound, if you will. And you can, of course, use a color to make it bright. Use pink, dark pink, red, even green you can use. Every color you see. Blue is also cute to use. Why not, right? But I really love this look. So like this. And because I have a raw edge, I want it to look really pretty. I love that sound. I don't know why, but I do. I'm a little bit weird like that. Don't you like that sound? Or is it just me? Let me know in the comment section down below, please. I'm so curious about that. Also want to ink this. Even though I made an edge, this is I made that digitally really small. It's lace. I don't know if you can see that, but those kind of details I really love to do to enhance my physical art, right? So I also kept this one a little bit playful with the playful flowers, and this is a little bit Japanese, I feel like. So let me see, this one is the spine size, and that won't be visible because I will use that's, so I won't do my best, extra best on that side. Didn't really have to do it, but well. Try to think about what will be visible, because that will yeah, so you can really make it a little bit faster. But I like the process. I'm not really hurrying the process up, if you will. So I like the process, so why would I do that? So I'm trying to enjoy the making, the inking, not trying, I am enjoying it. So this is my passion. So you see, it really gives it a finished look for some reason. So like a frame, right? So I will leave the inking at that for now. Okay, leave it over there so that I can find it. And now I will bring in this, and I can put it on this side. It doesn't really matter what side, because this will be then the inside cover, and this all will be covered, so it doesn't really matter, but I will attach it on this side. So remember, and I'm saying it to myself, the front cover I will put on my right hand side, and then the back cover I will flip this up. Here you see my other design, papillion, and this I will want to attach onto each other first. So what I then do is get a cheap glue stick, and you can of course also use double-sided tape or different glue for this part. Also, what I want to do in my next one is sew, but I have a little bit of an issue with my sewing machine. It doesn't sew through paper. It stopped doing it, so I don't know exactly what's going on. Maybe the thread, maybe I have something else going on, but I'm not really quite sure what the problem is, so I will have to solve that before I can show you something like that. But so for the ones who don't have a sewing machine, this is really yeah, so I can show it for them. And also when you want to sew, I would recommend, if you for instance also want something like fabric, you can wedge it in between or make it on the back. Yeah, I'm giving you too many options. I will leave it at that. All the flaps are going up out of the way so that I'm not gluing those down. Then I'm turning it around and you see a little bit of my other design. I have glue. This is the glue that I'm using, Collal glue. It says school glue, but it's the same consistency and the same recipe, as you will, as they use for bookbinding glue. So, and this is a lot cheaper because it says school glue, but I researched it a little bit. So Collal school glue, I will link it down below. And I did fill up this smaller with the same Collal. So first what I want to do is go around the edges with the glue, a little bit or a lot in the middle, a little bit more I mean. And then I'm trying to go as far as the edge as possible. Normally I would use for my tutorials when I teach, I would prefer to use double-sided tape. That will be faster, but for this I'm now, because I don't have it, I'm just using what I have. So I'm big on using what you have. So but everybody, you can use what you have. Just do you and use what you want to use, right? So sometimes it gets a little bit clogged up, but I do really want the edges. And because I don't have I have an inkjet printer, so I do have to take into consideration that it doesn't, I'm not gluing the front, so I am trying to watch out for that. So you see it runs, you can see it while I'm gluing this. This is also printed on an inkjet. I have an A3 size. I'm really happy with my Pixma A3 size printer. I have it now for 4 years, I think, maybe even longer, and I'm really happy with it. So it still works, and I can also print larger things, so I can, for instance, A3 or something like that. So let's see if if I was careful enough, and if I did smoosh something, we will make that pretty, as you will. So I will turn that around really carefully, and normally I wouldn't glue on my cutting board machine, but for this I wanted to, because there is a ledge and I can push it to the edge, and yeah, that will make it a little bit easier. Reposition, because that pocket was in the way, so I do want it. And what is easier with liquid glue is that you have a minute to reposition it. So let me clean my hands a little bit over here, and then I will take a small piece of cloth, and then very gently, and make sure that there is, when you also have an inkjet, that there isn't glue, and then rub it over it, right? So I will do first the middle, where I'm sure there is no glue at all, like this. And what I meant with here is a ledge, so I can push, and I don't ever have to touch my cover, as you will. So, and now I can do the edges. So now I can push it and then do the edges. You can also use a dry cloth, everything that's dry, and you are drying it while it's gluing the edges, I mean. So I will lift it up because I did spill a little bit, and I will clean it. That will make marks. I'm sorry about the wiggle. I wiggled you around. So now I want it really to dry before I'm going to do something even with it. So I will be back when it's fully dried, and also I will put a book onto it. So I will see you then.